Hi, this is Heather from Colorusa.com. I'm going to show you how I depot my MAC eyeshadows today. I use the iron method, so I use an iron, regular clothes iron, and I use parchment paper, or otherwise known as baking paper, so just a thin layer of that. So you can see it's just regular old parchment paper. Okay. I have a knife, so be very careful, and a little circular magnet that I use to put on the back so I can put it right into my palette. So let's get started. First thing you want to do is you want to pop the shadow out of its canister. So you put the knife in between the shadow piece and the bottom, and you really have to use some force for this. So be very careful when using a sharp knife. This might take me a minute. There we go. Okay. Sometimes it pops right out, so there we go. Okay, now this I'm going to put down later because I'm going to take the sticker off the bottom. Okay, now I turn it over. I'm going to put my knife off to the side, or this side. I use the paper, place it on top, and then my iron is set on the lowest setting. It's the setting for cotton. So definitely the lowest setting, or else it's going to burn. You leave it on for, I don't know, 10 seconds or so. Sometimes you can start to see it through. When you can see it through, that's when you want to take it off. Okay, a little longer than 10 seconds, maybe. Okay, now I take the paper off, and it sometimes sticks. Okay, you can see that it's starting to get melted on the bottom, and that's when the glue is loose enough to hopefully be able to pry this out. So I look for a little space in between, and I hold it on the outside because the outside's not too hot. There should be a little space in between to start digging it out. And the tip of my knife really pulled it out right there. Oops. I don't want to touch the metal because the metal is actually really hot. So you can see how it comes out, and there's still some glue stuck, so take it off. Now if it started to crack at all, which it was getting a little bit to that point, I would just put the iron back on top of it and leave it for another few seconds so that it could come out. Okay. Another way to do it, if you don't want to stick your knife in and pry it out, and the possibility of cracking the shadow, is to melt this enough so that you can stick the knife straight through the bottom and kind of pop it out that way. Okay, now I stick my magnet on top. With obviously the magnetic part to the outside. Okay, and now I'm going to move this to the side for now. I'm going to take the empty MAC container, and I'm going to do the same thing with the iron and the paper. So put the paper back on, put the iron on for not as long because you're just taking off the sticker. Okay, so I can see the bottom edges through the paper right there. There should be plenty of time for the sticker to come off. So you just put the knife underneath, and the sticker just kind of peels right off. It's perfect. And I pull back my shadow and put the sticker on so that I will always know that this was Pollinator. Okay, stick it right on. Now it's ready to go in my palette. Okay, now that I've depotted one of my shadows, I'm going to stick it into one of my palettes. And I just want to talk to you a little bit about this Z palette. It's different from the MAC palettes because it's got a completely open space where you can fit a whole bunch of shadows. So this one holds 9, 3 across and 3 down. Okay, and so I can stick these in here and it holds it in place. And then I can put the cover back on. The cover's magnetic, which is really nice. And, I can rearrange these really easily. And what else I like about the Z palette is that I can see the colors through the top, which obviously you cannot through the MAC palette, so I have to label those with a label maker. And, these hold a good amount, and there's a larger Z palette, which actually holds up to 28 MAC shadows. But what's also cool about Z palette is that I could put a blush in here with a couple shadows from different companies even that aren't all the same size, and I can carry them all in one palette. So, this concludes my depotting tutorial for you, so thanks for watching, and be sure to check out Coloruza.com.